Namaste, Hare Krishna. Second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. Sloka 47. Karmaṇy evādhikāras mafalēṣu kadācana karma-phala-hetur bhūr te saṅgo akarmaṇi. Another key sloka in Bhagavad Gita. From the previous sloka we understood that by picking the main essence of the Vedas and performing only those and skipping the other part, what is not meant for us is not going to bring any sin. Therefore, we just have to pick and do what is needed. Not that we have to do everything that is told in the Vedas. But when a person doing that particular action that is prescribed for them, there's a way of doing it in certain consciousness. And that is what is explained in this sloka. Those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance can take things that they need from the Vedas that will give them the material benefits that they are hankering for in their life. But for you, Arjuna, you shouldn't be compromised by such lower benefits. You have a standard in your life, high standards. Your standard should be to attain the higher realm, liberation. The expectation is you be or come to the pure platform of goodness, mode of goodness. And you need to act in that mode in whatever you do in your life. Everything should be in that particular platform, in the pure mode of goodness. That will lead you to the path of perfection and gradually towards liberation. So, when Krishna said this, the question is how to perform such acts in pure mode of goodness. And that is what has been explained beautifully in this sloka, which is the Nishkama Karma Yoga. This Nishkama Karma Yoga is not something separate from Karma Yoga. It's part of Karma Yoga. And that is the starting of yoga platform. So before we get into the further meanings and explanation of this particular sloka that Krishna is going to offer how to do an action, let's understand at this juncture, very important, that is the term yoga. Because we have repeated this word quite several times by now. So yoga means to connect. Connecting with what? Connect means two objects should be there. It has to be connected. Connection should be made to oneself because we are so disconnected from ourselves. Because we are connected so much on the external thing, but hardly we get connected to ourselves. So we have to do yoga so we know who we are and so we can connect to ourselves. Connect with oneself, with our existence, real existence, reality. And connecting after that, the next is the connecting oneself. When we say oneself, it is Atma. So the next is connecting Atma to Paramatma, which means once we get connected to Atma and Paramatma, then we get disconnected from the external objects of this material world. But when one matures in the yoga practice, then they really don't need to disconnect or get a sense of disconnection from the external thing. Rather, they see all the external things also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they know how to utilize all that's in their command, in use, to connect the Atma and Paramatma. So that means nothing is seen material. It all becomes spiritual at that point of time. And this is what yoga leads us to. Now, with that said, in today's sloka, it says, Adhikar, one has rights to perform their duty. So, easy way of seeing this is 4 points as mentioned here in this particular sloka. Number 1, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty. Krishna is telling Arjuna, therefore we should feel ourselves in that position of Arjuna. So number 1, you have right to perform your prescribed duty. Number 2, you are not entitled to results of action. Results of action that you perform. Number 3, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Number 4, never be attached to not doing your duty. So, very, very important 4 points. Going over these points in detail, the Vedic scriptures gives so many of karma, actions, activities that can be performed. But we pick that goes with our nature, based on our karma, and start practicing that action which is prescribed in the Vedas very religiously, without compromising. When we follow that particular dharma given in the scripture, as we are doing, we have to have these points that we saw, primarily the 3 points out of 4, in our mind all the time. That is, you have a right to perform a prescribed duty. This role and responsibility in my life is given to me by my own karma, by the causeless mercy of the Lord. That understanding should be there. The second, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Why? Because I am not the doer. The body is doing. The body is triggered to perform certain types of activities based on the modes that it gets influenced by. Again, which is under the influence by Krishna, which is based on our own karma. If I don't have to be desiring for result, then why I have to do this one? For that reason, Krishna also says, don't be attached to not doing your duty. Never be attached to not doing your duty. It's a duty, therefore you have to do it. Why one will not do the duty? By thinking that the results are not mine anyways, so why I have to do this one? What's in it for me? There's nothing in it for me, therefore I don't need to do it. Second is, if I do any of these activities, then that will bind me again into the material world. I might get into the good karma and bad karma program, therefore I don't want to do it. These both things are not recommended. These both thoughts are not recommended by Krishna. In other words, not doing your duties also another side of attachment. Therefore, unless we bring the sloka into practice in our daily life, it will be very difficult for us to attain the highest goal in our life, which is reaching the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. And for one to come to that stage, one has to have a clear-cut understanding of Atma, that I am not this body, I'm here for a specific period in this body. Once the period is over, once a project is over, I'm out. And during my period stay in this body, I'm going through the karma. I'm reaping the results of my action, previous actions. In this interim period, I should not get too attached to the family, friends, wealth, desiring for good health, name, fame, prestige, or even heavenly planet, as all these are simply connected to the material body, nothing to do with Atma. There is no connection to Atma at all. Whatever we think is our goal in our life. Therefore, the action that I need to do should be beneficial to my Atma. And those are the actions that I need to do that's prescribed in the Shastra, in the Veda. Therefore, those who are interested in liberation and wanted to attain the supreme abode of the Lord, Vaikuntha, will make best of a bad bargain. That is, due to some karma we got this material body, that we can't avoid it. We are already in this body now. We can't do anything about it. At this point, what we can do is make use of it. By using the same body that we got through our previous karmas, can be engaged in proper consciousness, in proper Krishna consciousness. One can totally get free from getting another body. Therefore, use the body that I have given you in service of me, O Arjuna, by understanding you are not the doer, it's me. You are not the cause of the results, it's me. And you are not the owner of anything, it's me. The results are not yours, it's mine. So to answer the question, how one needs to perform action is explained in this beautiful sloka that we all have to somehow practice very consciously. Karmaṇy evādhikāras mafalēṣu kadācana ma karma-phala-hetur bhūr ma te saṅgo akarmaṇi. Namaste. Hare Krishna.